Blackstar's Amped 2 attempts to bridge the gap between what I consider to be the two main types of gigging guitarist. The traditionalist, who is still lugging around their heavy analogue amplifier, and the minimalist, who is perfectly pleased to program presets on their digital floorboard. The Amped 2 gives much of the convenience and weight reduction of the latter, while still being a recognisable analogue amplifier, well within the comfort zone of those of us who don't want to completely give in to the digital world. What we have here is a 100 watt solid state amplifier condensed into an extremely portable floorboard footprint, able to deliver that full 100 watts, or selectable divisions of it to traditional 16 ohm or 8 ohm speaker cabinets. It has 3 different preamp channels: Classic, UK and USA to account for your desired amplifier sound, and power amp response to simulate the dynamic and saturation threshold interactions of different power valve topologies. It doesn't just stop at the amplifier though. The Amped 2 builds in 4 different effects categories, allowing you to add drive, modulation, delay and reverb without having to connect up any additional pedals. However, if you don't want to rely on the inbuilt effects and want to add your own, then there is an effects loop, as well as a couple of 9-volt outputs delivering a total of 500 milliamps to power external pedals. Following in the footsteps of Blackstar's Department 10 pedals and their St James amplifiers, Amped 2 features CabRig, Blackstar's digital speaker and microphone emulation, which dynamically models the response of a range of speaker cabinets which can be output through the balanced XLR for use with recording interfaces or front of house sound desks, or the headphone line out connection for silent monitoring. MIDI connections allow you to control features of the Amped 2 with an external MIDI device. There's a USB connection for setting up the MIDI and CabRig, as well as turning this into an audio interface if you don't already have one of those. There's even a tuner on the front. The only things this doesn't do is wash your dishes and collect your pension. It's an impressive set of features and functionality contained within a singular device. Now, that bombardment of specifications has probably left you with a number of questions, primarily, how does it sound? So let's go through as much of this as I can comfortably fit into a YouTube video. In the amplifier section, we have 3 preamp types and 3 power valve topologies. Matching topology type with the correct preamp and power setting will help optimize the sound. These topologies will change the dynamic response from the power amp. 6L6 will give us the most headroom and the quickest response, keeping the low end tight, while EL84 will give us the least headroom and the slowest response, adding more bloom to the low end. USA is a super clean Fender style preamp, pairing best with 6L6. UK is a Vox style cleanish crunch which works wonders with low output pickups and pairs best with EL84. And Classic is a Marshall style distortion. You'll want to go for EL34 for that JCM 800 sound, or 6L6 to tighten up the low end and get something more akin to an SLO. The effects are all pretty self-explanatory. Placed ahead of the amplifier in the signal chain, these drive options will boost the selected preamp. Boost is a lovely clean level boost. Drive will take us anywhere from Tube Screamer style overdrive all the way through fatter distortion, and fuzz isn't great in this, honestly. I think if you're a fuzz player, you'll have your dedicated fuzz pedal into this, give you a much better result. Coming after the preamps, just as if they were in the effects loop, the following effects types will add extra seasoning to the sound, a selection of common modulation, delay, and reverb types. Each of these 4 effects can be activated or bypassed using their own dedicated foot switch. Now, obviously none of these are as good or as flexible as having individual dedicated pedals. That's just the nature of these all-in-one solutions. They're not designed to give you the best of effects, but to give you a wide range of the essentials to get you through a musical task, all contained in one convenient singular package. For sounds, I have the Amped 2 set up with a speaker cable connecting the 16 ohm output to my open-backed 1x12 Tone King cabinet, being mic'd with Lewitt microphones. At the same time, the XLR out is connected to my audio interface, and I've set up CabRig to be emulating a 4x12 or a 2x12 cabinet depending on the preamp. So expect the microphone sounds and the CabRig sounds to be drastically different. Now I'll be doing my best to use a combination of all of these features to create usable sounds. I'll do my best to put those combinations on screen so you can follow along with what I'm doing. Blackstar's Amped 2 is probably ideal for teaching or education where you're travelling to meet a student. You could turn up with just this and a small 10-inch cabinet and have a bit of everything without the need to navigate digital menus to set up new sounds. This would also make a convenient demo amp. Someone in my line of work might want to have a singular device where they can plug multiple guitars and pedals into, have 3 of the most common amplifier types, and a range of basic effects to demonstrate sounds in any genre. Connecting an audio recorder directly to the XLR and monitoring through headphones means this can even travel without a cab. Now, where this does unfortunately fall down is that there's no way to foot switch between the 3 different preamp channels. This isn't really a 3-channel amp, it's more like 3 single-channel amps all contained in one chassis. If you want to go from distortion to clean, then you'll have to flick that mini toggle switch. Now, there might be a way to use an external MIDI foot switch connected to the Amped 2 to switch between those preamp channels. I haven't investigated that, but such a thing would certainly defeat the purpose of having a convenient all-in-one solution. Treating this as a single-channel amp and setting up so that it's either always distortion or always clean might be more than enough depending on what you play. Having full foot switch control over all of the effects might be more important in certain situations than being able to switch between the amp channels. For example, I never use foot switches to change amp channels here in my home studio. In this limited space, having foot switches trailing around the floor simply is less convenient than just reaching out and flicking the channel switch on the amp. Also, setting up individual pedals per recording session can be a right pain in the arse, so this Blackstar feature set does appeal to my situation. There are also no presets here. This is an analog amplifier, so it lacks some of the convenience of a fully digital system. That being said, I'm the type of person who hates having to program presets on a digital floorboard, making me the target audience for this device. And while I can see specific use cases where this would be completely adequate, like mobile teaching and demonstration, I think this misses out on a wider appeal simply by omitting a way to easily switch between preamps via foot switch. I do like this and can see the usefulness of it, but I don't think it would ever be my main rig. This would be a convenience purchase. Specifically a portable solution, something that would allow me to do my job in music, be that teaching or demonstration or perhaps even very simple fly gigs. It might also be an attractive backup amplifier, something with just enough features to get you through a show if your main rig fails for any reason. This is a great product, albeit one with a fairly narrow audience in my opinion. However, if you are one of the people to whom this appeals, then you will find links in the description where you can buy one for yourself. And don't forget to click all the buttons you're supposed to make this video viable to the ever-changing whims of the YouTube algorithm. That's all for now. Keep it loud and stay safe.